Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Colleen and I'm really pleased that you joined me here today. The countdown is on. There's no doubt about it. We have, I think, 18 days left until Christmas Day, and I feel like I've already made at least 5 more trips to the grocery store or other stores than I normally would in a month, and there's still 18 days to go and things that I haven't finished. So today I'm going to share with you some real cheating, and I mean cheating, gifts that you can give to people in a jar. The ingredients you can pick up while you're in the grocery store. They take very little planning, and I know that it's cheating. You'll know it's cheating, but someone will think that you took the time and the effort to think of them even in a small way. So I will gather up the ingredients for the first of 4 things that I'm going to show you that you can easily create in your kitchen. I'll be Now, the first of the 4 things that I'm going to show you how to create today to bluff your friends into thinking that you worked super hard to come up with something spectacular for them is spiced pancake mix. So I have purchased a box of complete buttermilk pancake mix from the grocery store, and I am going to wrestle my way into it. Looks like I'm going to have to attack it with a pair of scissors. And I'm going to measure out 2 cups into a bowl that we just need temporarily to hold ingredients for us. Well, that was a little too much. Let's be mindful. And there, we're gonna call that 2 cups. And I have a bunch of spices out here. This is the spiced part of the spiced pancake mix. I have a little allspice. And I don't know if you have a set of these little gaffers. I think you're gonna have to work at your discretion if you don't have, because I'm not sure what these actually make. These have measurements on them called a nip, a smidgen, a pinch, and a dash. And today we're going to use a nip of allspice, which is, just the tiniest little pinch. And we are going to use a nip of cloves, and we are going to use a smidgen, a smidgen of ginger, and we're going to use, I'm switching to my regular ones now, and we're going to use 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. And we're going to mix these all together in this, and then we're going to, I'm using my funnel. I have a 1 pint jar. They hold 2 cups, so the math's pretty easy. Whoop. Man, I'm making a mess, aren't I? And we're gonna get that into the jar. It'll require probably a little shaking down, but not too bad. I'll try and save your ears a little bit. And there we go. We have our spiced pancake mix in the jar. Now, after I got home with the mixes that I'm going to share with you today, I realized that I didn't have all the fancy stuff to fluff these up and make them pretty, but I did find in my box of treasures from last year, or maybe the year before, some beverage napkins, and I happen to have some in red. So after a couple trials, I realized that these napkins have like a little fancy edge around the outside. So all I did was fold them in half that way. And then I folded them again. And now I'm going to cut from the bottom of the fancy bit all the way across like this. And I'm going to make a little arch because it makes it kind of a little fancier. I'm going to take the lid, put it on the jar. I am going to take the little napkin that I've cut, because let's face it, you're going to go out and you could go out and you could buy a piece of fabric and you're going to pay for that fabric, which is okay. If you want to make one more trip to the store, definitely go ahead and do that and buy something fancy. They're just going to throw it out anyway. So this gives you a little ruffled finish on your jar. And then I took some little gift tags that I have, and I wrote in here that it is spiced pancake mix and what the directions are. It's already hole punched. I've got these little round tags from something else. I'm going to put the two of them together. And also in my box of tricks from previously, I have these little red balls. So I am going to be using them. It's great if you can use up some of the things from around the house for sure. So then I'm just going to wrap this around the jar. And I'm going to try and get underneath the lip of the jar. I have got a piece of twine cord actually, because I think twine is a little bit furrier, if that makes sense. And I am going to now take the cards and put them on. There's one, the other one, and I'm going to give that a tie. I haven't forgotten about the ball. I'm just going to tie it separately. These are a little tricky, so make sure that you take a little bit of time there. I mean, you're saving so much time not making this yourself. You probably have enough time to at least fancy it up a little bit. And now I'm going to put the ball on and tighten that down a bit. I'll cut the ends off shorter. And there you have the spiced pancake mix. And inside are the directions for the receiver of this gift to be able to make a fancy spiced pancake for their breakfast. And believe it or not, it's really good. So give it a try. Don't be afraid to cheat a little. Tis the season. No, that's not true. Don't be afraid to try. It's really worth it. Now, I've gathered up the items that I think that we could use to make this second jar gift. We're going to make hot chocolate. You can tell we're in Canada probably. This is what I'm going to use for the base, and I'm going to make a family jar. So this is a jar that would serve 6 people. So the directions on it say, dump contents into a pot, add 6 cups of hot water, bring to a simmer and serve. Hot chocolate for 6. So it's easy enough to make, and I've done all the measuring for you to take the guesswork out of it. We need to have 2 cups of hot chocolate mix, and we're just going to pour those into the jar. Now, you do not have to use your good canning jars for this. If you're a canner, we know how dear they are. So if you've got some of those pasta sauce jars kicking around, maybe they haven't gone to recycling yet, put them in the sink and soak the labels off and use them for this, because they would be just fine, or any other jar you have kicking around the house. I don't think that there is a reason for us to have to give up our good jars. Okay, there we go. There's 2 cups of hot chocolate mix. And I'm going to add to that a half a cup of chocolate chips. Well, maybe I'll level this off a little first. Half a cup of hot chocolates. No, half a cup of chocolate chips, and these are milk chocolate, which will add some richness to it. And I'm just gonna put them around there a little bit. And then I'm going to fill up the remainder of the jar with mini marshmallows. And it makes a kind of a pretty presentation. And there we go. How's that? Now, again, I scrounged around the house trying to find something that I could use from out of my old Christmas ornaments box so that I didn't have to go back out to the store. I needed a bigger gift tag for this, so I save Christmas cards from one year to the next, and sometimes I reuse them. And in this case, I just cut out the shape with a pair of scissors off the front of the card. And the family who gave me this card would be happy to know that I'm recycling it anyway. And it didn't have a hole in the top, so I'm just going to use a little pair of really pointy tweezers, and I'm just going to push a hole through so that I've got a place for the twine to go through. I'm not going to make the lid fancy. I'm going to put the seal on, and I'm going to put the ring on. And I'm stuck in that spot where I don't have a whole bunch of fancy stuff from the store. So in my Christmas box, this might have been in there for the last 5 years. I don't know, quite some time. I've got some of this ribbon that's got the, what do you call it, the wire in it. So I thought, I don't want the wire on it, I want it to be like, just like a ribbon. So I'm going to cut it off, and I'm going to take the time to cut the ribbon, the wire off both sides of the ribbon and make it as wide as I want it to be. And this is kind of a festive thing. I guess we're being pretty, what would we call this? I don't want to say cheap, I don't want to say miserly, I want to say something else, but I can't think of anything else that would work here. So I think that we're being thrifty by trying to use up the things that we have around the house and save ourselves another trip to the store. Because all of the things that I'm showing you here today are things that you can add to your cart on your next shopping trip, and they won't cost you the earth to make up these gifts. Each one will be under $10, and that's even if you have to buy the jar. And they can be a lot cheaper than that if you're not buying the jar. So there we go. So I've managed to get a little ribbon there, and I'm going to wrap around here. But first I think I'll attach. No, I won't. I'm going to do this. Can you tell I'm just winging this here, just trying to make it up in the same way that I hope you would make it up if it was in your home. And I'm going to tie a knot in this, and I'm going to cut the ends off. I probably should have this all closer to you, but I wouldn't consider what I do here crafting. So I'm not a crafter, and I'm not trying to pretend to be one. I'm just being a frugal person, which I think we all need to be this year, it feels like. So I had these little bells. I bought them probably 2 years ago for putting on our stockings, and I had a whole package left over. So I'm going to run 2 of these little bells and onto the twine, or at least I think I am. There we go. I'll get them quite close together. So I got them to the center of the twine approximately, and now I'm going to add the label, and I'm going to put them on the jar And I'm going to tie this up. And is it okay to say voila? Voila! We have another little Christmas gift that didn't take us any time to make, and you probably have all the things that you need to fancy it up around the house in your Christmas box or in a drawer somewhere. I think that even just a plain jar is gift enough. It shows that you've thought about them for Christmas. And here I am back at number 3, and this is sugar cookies, and this is complete and utter cheating. There isn't any doubt about it. I have a sugar cookie mix that I bought from the grocery store, and I have a 1 pint jar. I think I can fit all the contents into this jar. We're about to find out. I thought I might be able to use a pint jar for it, but it turns out I need more space than that. So I'm going to the quart jar. It'll have a little bit, it won't be quite as full, but that's okay. We're going to use a funnel, and I am going to just drop this in lightly. Oh, and I still managed to get it on the counter. Now, if you have time, you can definitely make up the mixes that are going into these jars yourself. And that would not be a bad thing either. I'm not trying to dissuade anybody from cooking up or preparing these things themselves. I'm just saying, if you're pushed for time and you wouldn't mind having maybe just an extra half hour of time for yourself over the holidays, then this is one way that you can accomplish a number of things. One of them being that you're going to give a gift that you've put some thought into to a friend or an acquaintance that you want to recognize. And the second one is to grab some time for yourself. So now I am adding nothing else to this jar. Everything we need is in there. I'm putting the lid on. I am not doing too much fancy on this jar at all. I am going to get some of my twine here. In fact, I'm going to probably peel off a goodly amount. And yes, I've already got it stuck in a Christmas ball. How is it we managed to do that? Maybe it's because we're always in such a hurry. And that's why we should, you know, be quiet for a little bit. Settle down. Do some things for ourselves for a change. We're always thinking about everybody else. Okay, I've just put some twine around. I'm going to make this tight. I'm going to tie it in a knot over here. And I am going to add the card. And I have this little decoration. It looks like a little gift wrap box that's been in my Christmas box for I don't even know how many years. In fact, I maybe have to cut a little twist off it. And I have the tag, so I'm going to add the tag, and then I'm going to add the Christmas decoration. And there we go. And I'm going to turn it back around to me because that's how I see it best for tying it on. And I'm going to tie it, and I'm going to try and tie it in a little bow because I have enough of it left. And there we go. There's sugar cookies in a jar, and almost anybody would be happy to receive this little thoughtful gift. Let's move on to number 4. Let's see how we can challenge ourselves with this one. Okay, the last of these silly, thrifty, cheating recipes to make gifts in jars is going to be a brownie mix. We're going to make mint chip brownies, or we're going to put all the ingredients in the jar for the receiver of this gift to be able to make mint chip brownies. I just purchased a box of brownie mix that has the icing included at the grocery store. I don't know if the brand is important or not. I've poured the contents of the mix into a quart jar, and I think that, again, try and save your jars if you can and use what you might have as far as jars go. And this would be something maybe you could make next year for Christmas, so you could be saving your jars for a project like this. I have the recipe printed on the back side of, you know, the cover of a Christmas card, and I'm just going to poke a hole through the center of it for the twine to go through. That's the next step though. And into this, I'm just going to grab my measuring scoop. I am going to put in the mint chips. And I just bought these at my local grocery store when I was doing my grocery shopping. And I am going to add a generous half a cup of chips in here. And I am going to make sure that they're well packed down with the mix that's in there, because we need room for the icing packet to go in. Now I thought of 100 ways that I could make this seem a little more like we tried to make it ourselves, or, you know, we had spent hours in the kitchen, but it just isn't a good way to do it, and let's face it, we're cheating. So I'm going to ball this up, and I'm going to put it into the top of the jar like so, and I have a lid to go on. Now for this one, I had this leftover scrap of Christmas paper, and I thought this Santa face was kind of cute, so I put down a glass kitchen bowl over top of it, centering the Santa in the middle of it, and I'm just going to cut around the lines that I drew, because freehanding is not my best work, let's just say that. I kind of need the lines to follow. And even then it'll probably look a little raggedy, but we're being pretty real about this project we're working on today, so now you know something about me. I need lines. And I'm just going to center Santa's face over the top. And I'm going to put the lid on. It'll go over this paper. And it'll take a minute, I think, for it to get centered on there, and there we go. And so, looks like that so far. So, I got out some twine, some more of it. I'm going to have used this almost all up by the time I'm done this year, which would be, actually that wouldn't be bad. You get things laying around from one year to the next, and you know, if you're like me, you don't want to throw them out, but by the same token, after a while, they just meet the end of their life, I feel like. So I'm going to wrap the twine around as we have in the other ones. And for this one, I'm going to use the red balls that I had before. I'm going to, actually maybe I'll tie this first so that it's good and tight. And then I'm going to put on the tag. And I'm going to put on a red ball. And I'm going to tie it in a knot because I don't want the red ball to come flying off. We don't want to seem like cheapskates here. Okay, there we go. Just going to trim this end. And there we have a brownie mix in a jar to give to somebody that we want to recognize. So we've done the 4 today. We've done a brownie mix in a jar. We have done the sugar cookies in the jar. We've done the spiced pancake mix in the jar. And we've done hot chocolate in a jar. This one for 6 people. So folks, you might, I hope that you're inspired by some of this. And hopefully none of your friends will ask you for the recipes for them. If they do, then you'll have to confess. And, well, that might give them some ideas for gifts as well. It's not a bad thing to want to make gifts for your friends, and it's certainly not a bad thing to try and be frugal about it and to look around your house and see what you can do. It's not a bad thing to be a bit frugal, especially around the Christmas holidays, and everybody appreciates the fact that you've taken a little time to do something that recognizes they have a place of importance, even if it's just a little one. So the costs of these aren't maybe as much as you would think. This happens to be the sugar cookies, and the sugar cookie mix in the grocery store today, when I bought it the other day, was on sale for $3.99. So if you didn't have to buy the jar and you used these other things that you had around the house, this is a little gift for under $4. The spiced pancake mix, the mix cost $3.99, and I didn't even use half of it. Yes, $3.99. I didn't use half of it. And the spices were ones I had in the cupboard, as were the decorations. So again, under $4. These get a little more expensive, but really not that bad. This is 2 cups of hot chocolate mix, and there's 4 cups in a can. And the can was on sale for $4.99. And then there's the marshmallows and the chips. So I would say this one's probably, well, under $5. And this one, with the addition of the mint chips in it, was probably around $5 as well. So it lets people know that you're thinking about them during the holidays, and helps to not break your budget. And during these times, we need all the help we can get. So I hope that helps you out, folks. If you think about it and you feel like you don't want to share this this video with your friends because you're thinking about giving them gifts like this, that's okay. Don't bother. I want you to have an opportunity to celebrate Christmas. So save your time, save your money, make your friends smile, and I will talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.